qualitative, it's exactly what you've said, is the ability to conduct, instead of conducting relatively very few long conversations with groups and people, right? 20 people, 45-minute conversations with each person covering a lot of stuff, right? Instead of doing that, it is the opposite of that. It is actually conducting a series of short conversations with lots of people. It is the complete opposite of how qualitative work is done, right? Hence, it's a different methodology. And then because of its scale and the ability to, as you've said, to quantify it, it's also quantitative. Because of its scale, it's also quantitative in nature. So it is both qualitative and quantitative in nature at exactly the same time, achieving what we call in philosophy a singularity. It is bringing qual and quant together to create a singularity, right? An instrument that allows the collection of information from people, because that's what market research is ostensibly. It's the expert collection and analysis, right, of information from people. It is a revolution in that, in the sense that we no longer need to, so for example, let me give you a very, very specific example. Usually now, if we want to know what people's attitudes are in a quant survey, we have to write these barrages of attitudinal scales that may or may not be relevant to people, that they've got to provide an answer on. They're quite problematic from a number of angles, but that's what we've got. That's what we've been using. Imagine, so that's what we've done. This now means that you don't have to, don't you have to write that question, you don't have to have any background on people's attitudes about what you're writing about. You don't have to know it all. You literally get the chatbot. And I think what we need to do is, I think you correctly termed this our research avatar. That's exactly how we should look at this, because that's what it's going to become. It's more than a chatbot, right? We're going to get the research avatar to basically conduct a whole series of short conversations, and we then take those conversations are all what we call bricks in qualitative methodology. They're called bricks, and you take all these bricks and you assemble the story, the qualitative story, through these qualitative bricks. And by its very nature, it's quantitative at the same time. So no longer are we guessing. Like, you run groups, our clients ask, what do you think's the most important? Then we have to guess, right? We've got to guess what's the most. There's no longer guessing. There are mechanisms by which we know how important certain things are relative to one another inside a conversation, etc. So it is the hybrid. Qualitative is the complete hybridization of and qualitative, and it's a hybridization because it also affects the way that the quant is designed and run, and it affects the way that the qual is designed and run to create a new unified system. In time, that unified system will probably become quite normative and give us the ability to understand what people think, what their attitudes are, simply by asking them the question, how they feel about something, right? Their answers, and then their probed answers by the AI, all of that information then builds up a picture of what not just what people's attitudes are, but the different types of attitudes there are out there as well. So this is what I'm saying. As a researcher, you can go in, design a survey, add open-ended questions to which you do not already know the answers. Hence, you don't have to design these scales and all that sort of stuff. And then just generate your insights from the pure qualitative data that you are receiving back, right? So if we think about it as a new way of doing research, because that's what it is, it's a new way of collecting information from the respondent. It enables a level of interaction en masse that we've never seen before. And look, we're going to discuss the future. I think we're going to project this into the future in this episode as well. Where's this going to go, basically? So that's why we didn't want to. That's why we needed a new name. We needed a new category of research, because that's what this is actually enabling. It's enabling a new category of research that is going to have implications for the way that we do everything in the future.